Welcome back to a very late Who Would Win. This one comes to us from Mark Antoine Hansel? Mark Apton, I believe that's the last name. He asked the question, who would win a fight? Danny Phantom versus the Ghostbusters. First, we gotta be clear, which version of the Ghostbusters are we using here? We're using the most modern interpretation, which a lot of people weren't necessarily fans of, or we're using the standard first two movies animated series characters. Even if we were to use both, I don't know if the answer would be necessarily different. So I've had Danny Phantom as kind of like Superman, Alucard, Jason, and all those guys. I can do Danny Phantom in my sleep because I've just had him on the channel too many times. Danny Phantom is Danny Fenton, got stuck in a portal, experimental portal to alternative dimension where ghosts live, and became half ghost. Now, he is human. Even when he goes into half ghost form, he's still technically human. He just is he's a hybrid, basically. And in his human form, he's basically a scrawny 15-year-old kid who doesn't get a lot of physical workout. As Danny Phantom, as the Ghost Boy, he's durable enough to take a lot of concussive force, ecto hits from other ectoplasmic fiends like other ghosts, strong enough to lift up to 10 tons at least, fast enough to move at least 112 miles an hour, is a competent hand-to-hand fighter, capable of going intangible, becoming invisible, firing ectoblasts of energy, creating shields, creating constructs to some degree, splitting into multiple forms of himself. He has cryokinesis, which creates ice. He has sonic whale, which is a sonic vibration, which is basically a a vocal. It's a sound wave, which you can use to shatter objects or just force people back, blow up an eardrum, knock them out. And that's the standard run of his powers. There's also more subtle powers he's had before, including his ghost sense, which is part of the cryokinesis. He doesn't just have ecto energy. He does also he can use his ecto energy through his eyes as well. So it's lots of subtlety too there. So Danny's had a lot of experience fighting other ghosts, and even had experience fighting ghost hunters, such as occasionally his parents by mistake, the Men in White, Vlad Plasmius, oh god, what was her name? The black girl, Valerie? Was that it? I can't remember exactly her name. But yeah, so he's had a lot of experience fighting other ghost hunters. The Ghostbusters, obviously, the original ones were Venkman, Winston, Egon, and Ray. They were pretty much just most of them are scientists. Even Venkman is technically a scientist. He does have PhDs in both psychology and parapsychology. But he's probably the least. Well, technically, Winston is just an employee. But they are all competent in their own right. They were doing that for. See, if we factor in the real Ghostbusters TV show, they were doing it for a couple years. If we're just going by the movies, I don't think they were doing it for more than a year at best when you actually factor in how long they were ghostbusting. So, but point being is that they're all just still humans. They have their ectopacks, and honestly, in the movies, I mean, they have access to that slime, but in the movies, that's really all the tech they actually have. I mean, they got the I can't remember the name of it. It's not the EKG meter, I don't think. It's the ghost detecting meter that Egon was using. But that's not a weapon. Excuse me. Woo. That's not a weapon. That's just a detection device. I mean, they have their main weapons are their ectopacks, which are powerful. And if a normal human got hit by that shit, I'm sure it would cleave him either in half or give him a severe 17th degree burn, which essentially means atomizing. Yeah, I'm trying to think in the movies, did they have any other actual tech on them? I don't think they did in the movies anyway. Now the real Ghostbusters, I do know, had some extra gadgets and toys with them, but their main stuff was still, or the main tech was still their ectopack, which was used to draw the ghost into the trap. Um, with the new Ghostbusters, you did get more weaponry. You did get you got these weird pistols that were more used for punching, which was weird. Um, so you got a couple different other items with them, but they were doing it even less for a less amount of time as the original Ghostbusters group was. So it's tough to say in terms of what they bring to the table. Apart from got the tools, we got the talent. It's Milla time. Besides personality. So I mean, if they fought, here's the thing. Unlike a lot of the other ghost hunting groups in Danny Phantom's world, they've had a long track record of success. And sorry, actually, sorry, there was no, my dad's sleeping, so maybe I was a little too loud. They've actually had a long track record of success, so including stopping extra dimensional beings like a Gozer and Vigo's technically not extra dimensional. He's just a very evil spirit, but still, point remains. And in the game, they stopped Satan, so they've had a long track record of success. Whereas Danny's not used to competent individuals is basically the thing. Besides maybe Vlad Plasmius. Ugh. Yeah, that was it. And Valerie's competent, but not 100%. So yeah, it is tough to gauge how Danny fares against them in that capacity because they are more competent. However, flip side of that is most of the ghosts that the Ghostbusters generally fight, usually anyway, are don't they lack real strategy, thinking, or self-preservation. Really, I mean, they try to escape, like Slimer tries to escape, but most of them are just and so they can be crafty and clever, but they're not really trying to outthink or beat them in a fight or combat, if it were. Whereas Danny is a kid, he's human, and he has far more abilities than the average ghost does. So how does that factor into this fight? Well, I mean, clearly it'd be an easy case of mistaken identity. You hear about the Ghost Boy, go to Amityville, or Amity, is it called? I can't remember. Was the town actually Amityville, or was it? I know the park was Amity Park. So Danny's flying around fighting some ghosts, and they come and say, "Get the streets," and they start to like attack Danny. Danny starts to get roped up in them. Now here's the thing: Danny, even in his ghost form, is still solid. He's still got physical being to him. He can then go intangible, but he's still got a solid mass. All the ghosts that they fight in Ghostbusters are already intangible. So I have to wonder if they wouldn't, if it would hold Danny regardless if he went intangible, or if they grabbed him when he was in solid form and tried to go intangible, it would change things up a bit. Point being, though, they would more likely try to pull him down into the trap, but Danny still can use techniques without using his hands, so all he has to do is wail, and basically the sonic wave probably shorts out the ectopacks, which means the Ghostbusters are screwed at that point. They just F's off. If it's the newer generation, the newer version of the Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, then you have maybe a group that might put up a better chance of a fight against them, only because they have a bit more tech on call. But it's really difficult to be certain about that. Again, only because Danny is human. He just has the powers of a ghost. And even in his ghost form, he's still at least half human. So I gotta go with Danny only because he's had more experience dealing with them or individuals like the Ghostbusters than the Ghostbusters have had dealing with individuals like Danny. Danny in their world would be a very powerful ghost. I mean, would he be like Gozer level powerful? Gozer's technically an extra dimensional being, so Probably not, but I think Danny could probably even give Gozer a good fight because they were able to beat Gozer. So if nothing else, he'd give Gozer a good fight if not beat him. Vigo, he could beat Vigo without a problem. He could beat the main villain in the rebooted Ghostbusters without too much of an issue. So ultimately, Danny would be considered a really high level ghost in the Ghostbusters world. Not taking out like when they fought the Cthulhu like entity and Satan. So yeah. And he's just had more experience dealing with individuals like the Ghostbusters, like the Men in White, like his parents, like Vlad Plazas, like Valerie, than they have with a ghost that's as versatile and as intelligent as he is. So I was surprised with this. Initially, I thought it was going to be the Ghostbusters, honestly, but the more I thought it out, I'm like, no, Danny honestly is something that they're not prepared to handle. So yeah, actually, I have to go Danny Phantom on that. So I go with Danny for the ultimate victory in this on both ends, both the original Ghostbusters and the newest ones. But ultimately, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think it's Danny who wins the majority of the time, or do you think it's the Ghostbusters? Now, there's obviously a scenario where they do suck him in and put him into the trap. I don't think it's very high, though. I'll go 85% of the time I think he wins. 15% of the time they can maybe get a victory on him. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Those you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. 90s or who would win, Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, folks.